Today I'm going to be talking all about window Haworthia and how to care for them. Welcome back to Mind the Leaves. If it is your first time here, welcome, and don't forget to subscribe. These little gems are some of my favorite plants. At the tip of every leaf, they have a clear area or a window, which basically allows lots of light to penetrate into the leaf for photosynthesis. In their native habitat of South Africa, they would actually be almost completely covered by sand, and all you would see would be these little windows poking out. And that basically allows the plant to protect itself from the really hot heat and sun, but still allows for maximization of light. The sun requirements for these guys are basically bright indirect light. They really don't like to have harsh direct sun on their leaves, so protect them from that. You can put them in, say, an east-facing window where it's going to get just some soft morning sun. They really like that. They can also handle some soft evening sun, but nothing harsh. Nothing during that really hot hour of the day. If you're giving your Howarthia too much sun, too much direct light, you're going to notice that the leaves are going to start to take on sort of a brownish, reddish, purplish sort of color, and this is actually sun stress. It's its own natural defense mechanism against the really hot sun. It's sort of like when we tan. If you enjoy the colors that you're getting from the sun stress, you can keep doing that. I like them to look like this. I personally don't find the sun stress look very attractive, but that's personal preference. If you're seeing that sun stress and you don't like the look of it, definitely put it in a place where it is getting less direct sun. I actually keep mine in basically a north-facing window, and it does great and it blooms for me. When they're getting enough light, they'll keep this nice compact rosette shape. But if they're not getting enough light, then you will see them etiolate, which is just a fancy word for stretching. Okay, water. With a window Haworthia, you really want to make sure that you're only watering when the soil has completely dried out. These plants are sensitive to root rot, so you want to make sure that you're not overwatering or allowing your plant to sit in water in any way. If you have your plant on a saucer, make sure that you're emptying out your saucer after you've watered. During the growing season, I end up watering my Haworthia about once every week, but I check, and if it doesn't seem quite dry, then I leave it for a little while. In the winter season, I cut back watering severely to only about once a month. They don't seem picky at all when it comes to tap versus rainwater, which is great. They're very easygoing, and they also don't seem to care what kind of humidity you have in your home. Mine ranges anywhere from 60 to 20, and they're fine either way. Let's talk about soil. Because this plant really doesn't like too much moisture, you really want a soil mixture that is super gritty and really fast draining. I recommend that you amend your potting soil even if you're already using a succulent or cactus mix, because oftentimes they're still not gritty enough. So make sure to amend your potting mix with things like perlite, turfus, bark chips, anything that's going to make that soil grittier and fast draining. The mix that I use is honestly probably about 30% soil to about 70% amendments. And of course, super important with these plants, don't forget to make sure that you have drainage holes at the bottom of your pot. Even if you're keeping it in a cute little cache pot for look, make sure that you have a pot with drainage holes. Fertilizer. They really don't need that much, although I do recommend that you fertilize them twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. These plants actually kind of have two growing seasons, the spring and fall, and then they kind of go dormant in the hot summer and in the really cold winter. So give them a boost at spring and then again at fall, and you're done. Blooms. Yes, if you can believe it, these little plants do bloom. They're not the showiest flowers, but they're really fun to see it in the springtime. Basically, a really long flower spike shoots up, and then it has a bunch of these small flowers that open in succession. If you would like to propagate a window Haworthia, there are several different methods, like through leaves and seeds, but I would honestly say that the easiest way to propagate is to simply divide your clump or by removing the pups. These two were initially in the same clump, and I divided it and actually had several other plants that I gave away to friends. And I can see here on these notice ones that it is coming in with new pups as well. If I wanted to, I could just remove those pups and pot those up and have even more plants. They are quite slow growers. They're not going to turn into some big clump in your first year or anything like that. They do take some time. The good thing about that though is that if you're living in a small apartment or you want small plants that don't get huge too quickly, this is perfect. These are really easy plants to grow. They don't need a lot of light or a lot of water, and they are majoritively pest-free. Yes! These are beautiful, but I think I'm still partial to the Cooperi. What is your favorite variety? Tell me in the comments below. If this video was helpful for you, please go ahead and plant your finger on that like button and go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a single video. And join our Mind the Leaves community on Instagram for even more plant content. My name is Sam, this is Mind the Leaves. Take care of your plants and yourself.